Goderich. We're at the Democratic petition signing. John, why don't you...
Thanks for having me. I appreciate that and giving me the opportunity to express my views on this upcoming election. Right now, our whole country's in a rut. We're in a rut with this Trump tsunami and a liar and a thief that we're dealing with, and his trickle-down policies on economics. It reminds me of another president that talked about trickle-down that killed Western Pennsylvania, and his name was Ronald Reagan. Well, this guy's even worse than Ronald Reagan. His policies are killing working people. But I asked you to think about some things. We've got local people here in some of these local state positions that need to be out. We need to change Congress. We need to get Democrats back in Congress. We need to take over the Congress. And then state level, we need to get this Bernstein out of office. This Aaron Bernstein is a poison to the southern portion of Lawrence County. He's not good. He's not good for people. He's only good for himself and the Republican Party. And he's destroying working people. He wants to separate the county. He's pitting local people, Newcastle people, against Elwood people. Telling Newcastle employers, move to Elwood. Move to Elwood and you can leave us tax that you're burdened with up here because you're an Act 47 community. Nobody needs this. He's a one-issue person. He's bought and paid for by the Eastern Republican Party in this state. People like Mike Terzai and Daryl Metcalf. These people are not good people. I asked you, when you go to vote this year, get all your people. My grandmother used to have an old group of people that she would write down, and she'd call them and say, please, get out and vote jedan. Jedan means one in Croatian. That means 1X. Come November, please, vote and vote straight Democrat. Thank you for your time and opportunity, Angelo, for having me.
Thanks. We're with State Representative Chris Sonata. And Chris, a few words about what we have to do to be more successful in Western Pennsylvania and some topics of the day.
Well, Angela, I think the most important thing we need to get prepared for is the cracker plant going in down Beaver Valley. We need STEM research, or STEM education, get kids trained in the technology field so they can have opportunities to work there, as far as the construction, as far as the math, the sciences. These are something it's really going to be a lot of job opportunities all throughout Western Pennsylvania. And you're going to have the upstream jobs, and I know that Lawrence County wants to market any potential companies that want to come in. You have a few companies that are tied to the shale industry right now that are in Lawrence County. We need more of them to come. I think that's something we need to focus on. But it's very important to have a workforce that is trained in those fields, and that's a lot of it's going to be the technical, the boat techs, the school of trades, things like that. So I think that's something, especially some of our graduates now need to start looking at some of that stuff because opportunities are going to be there.
Thank you very much, Chris. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Good to see you.
Dr. Robert Malteri, I'm a candidate for United States Congress in the 16th District. I represent the people of the 16th District and all of Mercer County and Lawrence County. I'm here to represent Lawrence County tonight, but my positions on the issues are to try to get jobs in Western Pennsylvania and help even get jobs in Eastern Ohio. We're working along with Tim Ryan over there to try to get jobs in this area because of our highway system. We have a very good highway system, and we need to utilize that to boost jobs in this area. Also, I'll be working on obviously the medical problems that we have in the country right now, with the way things are. The Trump administration is trying to eliminate $250 billion in in Medicare funding for next year, which is going to affect a lot of people in this area. We have a lot of elderly people, a lot of people who are 65 and older are going to be affected by that. They're going to be ending up with higher co-pays and higher deductibles, and their prescriptions aren't going to be paid for. They're trying to sneak that under the wire with all the other stuff they're banning about on TV and not talking about the real issues. So we need to look into that, and I'll be fighting for medicine. I was at one time president of the American Academy of Internal Medicine, and I have a lot of experience in medical politics, and also dealing with pharmaceutical companies, with hospital systems, with insurance companies. And my motto is, I may not be able to drain the swamp, but I intend to go down and wrestle with the alligators.
Thanks, Bob.
I can assure you, we don't want any cuts to Medicare, especially $250 million worth. But there's a few elected officials here that should be recognized. We have Richard Rapone, the county treasurer's here. Chris Donato, obviously, our state rep. Myra Thompson's our state committee woman. Where are you, Myra? Somewhere. She's here. I didn't hear what she said. Vito Ropley, Mahoney Township Supervisor. Where are you, Vito? Raise your hand. There you go. Mark Sacka, sitting right beside him, as Mahoney Township Supervisor. We have Anthony Ross with the Newcastle Area School Board. We have Richard Bashir from the Newcastle Area School Board. Richard's over here. Stacy Flino, I'm sorry, City Council. Stacy Flino's right here is President of the Newcastle Area School Board. We have Tim Fulkerson, former mayor and city council person. Paul Stefano is a city council person and a state committee. There's Bob Grant, who's a former city council person. Did I miss anybody? Any elected officials here that I missed?
Yourself as the former mayor.
Yeah, okay. They wanted to forget that, so do I. You know. So, listen, I have a lady I'd like to come up
said when Donald Trump was elected, I just went crazy. I went to the Women's March, and I had never been active in politics before. Never, ever, ever. And we just decided something had to be done. And so we started a group called Lawrence County Action. So that our main focus was, we have to get out the vote. No matter how we complain about what's going on in Washington or in Harrisburg, if we don't elect good people to represent us, then what good is it? And so we all have to work in our precincts, and we have to get good precinct people. We have to knock on the doors. Do you know the other night I was knocking on doors and they said, "Who's Kelly?" What? Who's Kelly? They need to know who Kelly is. Kelly is up right now for an award for being responsive to his constituents. Really? And also for a health care award. I don't understand that. I'm going to find out what those organizations are and write him a letter, and I hope you will too, real soon, before he is awarded those awards. But what I wanted to say to you, Lawrence County Action meets once a month, and it's on March 6th this month. We try to have a program concerning an issue. This month it's going to be on the SNAP food program, which is under fire right now in the nation's capital. But mostly, I want us all to come together as Democrats. I really do. So, time's up. No. Really, that's what I wanted to say. Just all work really hard on these elections, and let's get out the vote. Talk to everybody you know.
Listen, Mike Kelly, just to give you an example, Mike Kelly is on the Ways and Means Committee. It's a Republican-controlled committee, as they all are. And they had a vote whether or not they could have forced President Trump to show his tax returns. Absolutely not. They voted against it. Mike Kelly was one of the people that voted against that. Now, I don't know why in the world everybody else knows, every other president, what their tax returns looks like, but this one we can't. So, I mean, that's just one of the things that you know, really irritates me, and I don't want to swear, but Donald Trump is somebody that just has, I think, has made our country look bad across the globe, and is bad for this country. So listen, we're all Democrats. We got a chance to meet with everybody, talk with everybody. Hopefully, with Mrs. Wrench, we can get active and start knocking on doors and helping as many volunteers as we can. It'd be wonderful. But what do you want, Pete? This ain't school. You don't have to raise your hand.
Yes, it is. She does.
Hi, I'm with Leo Jennings, and he is the campaign manager for Dr. Bob, who we just spoke with a little bit ago. Leo, can you tell us a little bit about the campaign and what's important as we go forward and look at congressional candidates?
Sure. Dr. Bob got in the race because he grew up at a time when there were lots of opportunities. He grew up poor in the projects in Farrell, Pennsylvania, but he knew that you could live the American dream if you worked hard, went to school. That's disappeared in the area. So our campaign theme is rebuilding the American dream, and he has a real plan for doing that. By creating jobs, improving health care, making Western Pennsylvania a center for green energy development. So those are the issues that we're working on. But he's running because he wants people to have the same opportunity in the future that he had in the great American past.
Thank you so much, Leo.
Sure.